Hello and good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen. We from Admiral Markets would like to welcome you here to our real-time daily trading ideas. We want to discuss the daily topics here from the stock markets and also answering here your questions. But first of all, we need to say here our risk disclaimer. So be aware that Forex and CFDs are leveraged products and can result in losses that exceed your deposit. So they maybe not be subtitled for everyone, and please be aware that all we are showing and presenting here today is just a personal opinion of our traders and not an advice for investing. As I said to the beginning, here you can see some of our traders. Today is Wednesday, so today with Giancarlo. So later more about Giancarlo and his trading style. Here a quick overview of some of our offerings. For example, maybe here our bestseller, the DAX 30, with a typical fixed spread of only 0.8 points during the main trading hours. These and other products you can also trade in the mini contract. So on the right side, you can see some of our service line awards. So if you have additional question or anything, feel free to contact us. Here you can see our telephone number and also our email. You will find it on our website as well. And all these live trading webinars are recorded. So later you will find it on our YouTube channel if you want to check it out. So here's a picture from Giancarlo. So good morning, Giancarlo. How
Hi,
are you
David.
today? I will share the screen and you can start.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, traders. Welcome to Real-Time Daily Trading Ideas. It's a very important day today because we have some important news to analyze today, and in the same time, we will take a look at some very important instrument because we have reached important target in the last week in our last meeting, and now we have to speak about two very important meetings of today. The first one is at 3 o'clock with Mario Draghi speech at 2 o'clock. We will have a speech of Mario Draghi because here we can have a high volatility in forex market, because especially in euro dollar, because as the Fed is the only one of the central bank that has started to high the interest rate. Investors would like to understand if Mario Draghi really start this September, or as we have understood last week, maybe we have to wait to start our our tapering in next year. So at the same time, I remember today another very important news. Of course, we are speaking about the gasoline stock, crude oil stock change, and I have some very important point to analyze today, as last week. So without losing time, starting with euro dollar, I would like to start with the weekly charts, because as we can see here, after 4 months of trading range, we start a strong breakout of 1.2252, and now we have touched very important zone between 1953 and 1.1856. So as we can appreciate from this chart, we are in a strong bearish direction, but the point is that we can touch to very important point, that is 1.1478 or 1.1643. I'm going to analyze what's happened in the euro dollar, because yesterday we have a very strong fall in euro dollar for weakened macro data, especially in Germany and Europe. If you remember last week, I have proposed to take a look for a stronger pullback. We have take correctly the point of entry, and we have touched this very important resistance here in 1.1933. Of course, we are speaking, we have spoken about pullback, and now we have started the bearish pressure in the market. So we have to understand, of course, that we have the influence of USA bulls, but in the same time, we have a spike in demand of treasury yield. So investors are leaving bonds and start to buy dollar because it's now considered a less risky investment. Of course, in this case, we can understand that all investors expect that Fed raise rate 3 or 4 times in this year. And in this case, we can expect a great British pressure until summer. Now we have I would like to suggest for today to have a lot of care at 2 o'clock with the Mario Draghi speech, because we can have a strong bearish pressure. If we take a look with our indicator Admiral High Low, we can appreciate the point of today in H4 chart. And you can understand now we are very near to have a strong breakout of the point speak before 1.1815. So take a lot of care, because it will not simple to end the short in this case. If we have a strong breakout of the low of today, and especially 1.178087, we can start a great bearish pressure. But in the same time, here we can have a great stop of down of bearish pressure, and we can have another pullback. So in daily charts, I would like to remember to take a look today to this zone, because in case of strong pullback, we can touch 1.1787 and in extension 1.17 today. It's a very worst scenario, but for today we have understand that during this week it's not impossible to realize a movement that going near between 1.17 and 1.1643. If we break out at the same time this week this very important resistance 1.1943, in this case we can start to try another long entry with first target near this zone. I always remember that the green rectangle correspond to a zone where the smart money put their hand. So in this case, if we have this breakout, we can touch 1.20 or in extension 1.2093. We have finished with euro dollar, and now I would like to speak about rapidly dollar yen, because we have spoken last week the great strength of dollar due to some tension in Middle East. We're speaking about this after with Standard & Poor's 500. We maintain the long view. The bullish pressure is maintained, and we have touched. We are very near our target here in 110.72. So now, as we have at 50 point of Fibonacci, 50% of Fibonacci, we can expect a small pullback between this zone and this until we maintain this very important support. I suggest to use pullback, of course, to start another buy. In case we lose 109, stop with the long and start to take a look if we have a chance to start sell in dollar yen. I am going with now with Canadian dollar, because we have a very important situation due to strength of dollar. I have put two very important level today, because if we maintain today this level 1.2850, we have a great chance to start a new long. Of course, the condition is a breakout of this very important level, 1.29 and 10. And only if we break out this zone 1.2764, in this case we have a start of a new bearish trend with the first target in 1.2694 and in extension until 1.2573. Take a look of this pair, because we can have a great chance to have a volatility during this week. Now we are going to speak about, of course, to Standard & Poor. We have reached in this with the millimetric precision the target I suggest last week here in 2,742. And now we are going to speak about what is the scenario for today and next 2 days in the Thursday and Friday. As you remember, I have put this very important zone in 2,684 and 2,611. As you can appreciate, we have respect this zone, and we have a strong breakout 9 of May of this zone. So we have start a new long trend. We can we have touched all our target, and we have stopped here. So what's happened now? In this moment, I have to recognize that this new uptrend was made with very low quantity of volume. So it's very difficult to understand if here we have a great stop of this trend, or it's only it's only a pullback. I strongly suggest to maintain a lot of care, because I have the impression that smart money want to do a strong correction, because I have seen a lot of presence of net position. And now for this week, I strongly suggest if for a new uptrend, the breakout of this zone between 730, 734, or in case we maintain this very important zone of 700. If we break out this zone today, we can start a new downtrend, and we can have, of course, the first target will be the same resistance of the last weeks in 684, but the only way to invert at least in medium term the trend of Standard & Poor is to break out with great decision and great force this zone 654. For now, I maintain a long view. Of course, I maintain a long view in the medium long term, in the short term too, but the strength of dollar give me a little worried, because if you have read this day, Trump after started to realize with the Chinese partner a meeting and a counterpoint to arrange the problem of trade war, he decided to open an embassy in Jerusalem, and this way he recognized, of course, the capital of that the capital of Israel is Jerusalem. So you know that there are a great tension with the problem of ISIS in Middle East. So you can understand how it's complicated in this moment, the situation. Of course, we are only in the pullback, but I suggest to maintain a look of this zone, because if we respect the 700, we have a great chance of a new and long entry, but we need at least a long candle. We need intention in the market to restart this trend. Of course, I maintain the view that we have of course a possibility to touch new high in Standard & Poor this week too. But if we close down this zone, next week we can start a new strong correction. Now, of course, we're speaking about my favorite index, DAX. In daily chart, we appreciate that we have reached our zone. We have seen this last 7 session free for intention of a breakout of 30,000, but we cannot have this breakout. Now we are a very noisy situation because we have a great down of volatility, and it's very difficult to trade the market because we have the problem that the volume is very down, and alternate a great volatility moment and the long moment without volatility. Here we can appreciate it, of course, that now we are in a strong correction. In H form chart, I would like to speak about some very important points and suggest some entry, of course, but I have to recommend a lot of care because the market is a very complicated range, and we can take a stop for a few points. Today, I would like to suggest to take a look at the zone between 935 and 951. In case we maintain this zone, we maintain the neutral range. For now, it's impossible to start as swing trading. In intraday moment, we can try a short if we break out this zone. So I suggest to try something if we break out at least this zone. Yeah, the aggressive trader, we can start here with just a stop of 20 points because it's very complicated market, and in extension try to reach at least this zone 892, but our real target is to reach 869, 850. At the same time, we would like to suggest to not open long trade until we break out at least 30,053, because this is a very important zone with a lot of volume, and in this case we can try a long at least in this zone in 57, and stop of course a little more we can try here in 19, and in extension we try to reach 100 point here, 30,100. So for this week I maintain a great possibility that DAX can touch a new high. In case we strongly break out this green zone, we can touch the 30,100, and in extension we can touch 139, 171. So take a lot of care with trading DAX because it's very complicated range today, but for now we maintain the long view. We finish with take a look at oil. You know that the last week we have touched with our objective, our target here in 71.53. Now we are in a very complex situation because I have seen a lot of volume in the market, and I would like to recommend to even do we maintain a longer view to have a physiological correction. So it could be great today with the inventory that the price can reach this zone between 15.8 and 70. In case we maintain this zone, maintain attention, but until we don't break out with a strong candle this zone, we are blocked between a lot of volume. I would like to finish with taking a look of gold because yesterday we have a breakout due, of course, to the strength of dollar. This very important zone of 50% of Fibonacci in a special. The exactly point is in 1,304, and now seems we start a new bearish trend. I would like to recommend at least a pullback near this zone, 1,300, and in a case we have this pullback, we can find a better point to start a new short. But now the target of gold, it seems to go down this zone and touch this very important support, this weekly support, sorry, monthly support in 1,279. Thank you very much. And now, if we have time, I am at your disposal for any question.
Okay, Giancarlo, thank you for showing us here what's going on today on the markets. So we have market here. It's Australian dollar to the US dollar. Maybe we can have a quick view of this market.
About the Australian dollar.
Yeah, Australian dollar to US dollar.
I have done just a moment because I have done an error. I think I have put sell limit. Yes, of course. Just a moment. I would like to change. Yes, buy limit. Sorry, guys. It's just a moment. I go. We have this. Stop here. Okay. All right. About Australian dollar, I would like to remember that he is going the great pressure of Federal Reserve. So just a moment, we have to maintain a long view, but now just a moment that I have the charts. Now we can touch something. Oh, just a moment. Okay, do I agree? Okay. In daily chart, we can appreciate that we have touched this is very important zone between 0.74 and 0.75. For now, I suggest to wait if the great pressure dollar can push the pair in this direction between 0.7317. It could be a great very possible target for this week. But if we break out this zone 0.7573, in this case we have stopped with the short and think at least a pullback between 0.7620 and 0.7650. Next meeting, next webinar, I promise to put a better study of Australian dollar. Yes, you can you ask me, but of course you have to understand that we have a few times, so I cannot tell you more for now. Thank you very much.
Okay, Giancarlo, thank you, and thank you, dear listeners. So we are back tomorrow at the same time. You are always welcome here, and feel free to join us. So yeah, have a great day, and see you tomorrow, guys. Bye bye.